What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Today we are going to do a comprehensive guide on how you can start earning money online starting today. In this video, I am going to show you how to start, scale, and monetize your audience, whether you are a creator, coach, business owner, influencer, or you don't have an audience at all. This is going to be your first stepping stone on how you can start earning a shit ton of money online. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mo. I made over 600K for my clients and generated over 45 million views per them, so I know a thing or two about what I'm talking about. And today, this is going to be a two-part video where I will be going over every single thing you need to start making your first 10 grand per month. And then we are going to talk about how you can scale and build that into a global brand, making over 100K per month. So without any further ado, let us jump right in. How are creators with less than 10K making 20, 30, 50, even 100K per month? Well, there is no secret formula, but all of them are suddenly doing it. As we can see right here, our boy Alec, with only 8.5K followers, he has over 107 grand per month in cash collected. Our boy Tommy right here, with only 4.3K followers on Instagram, he has over 30K in cash collected. Our boy Gabe, with only around 2K, he has over 30K in cash collected. And all of these other examples, almost all of them are as small as 15, 20, 10K or even less of followers. And the answer and how they're doing it is really simple. There is no magic formula. They did not come from money. They're not Nepo babies. They don't have any specific requirements or knowledge that you don't already have. Well, the answer lies down in a single thing, which is a high ticket offer. Now, you might be asking, Mo, what is a high ticket offer? What even is an offer? And to answer that, let me tell you simply that an offer is what the creator is selling. That is it. The thing is, for online offers, we usually distinguish them in three tiers: a low ticket offer, a mid ticket offer, and a high ticket offer. All of them are separated from the value that is being provided, the audience that it is destinated to, and the price point. So with that being said, let us illustrate this with a better example, as I have provided right here a quick small offer breakdown, putting you in the shoes of someone who has 10K followers and what you will be needing to monetize these 10K followers into earning 50K a month. So for our first offer, which is a low ticket offer, a low ticket offer will be something that is pathetically low, like an ebook, a template, a board, something that won't really be of big significance, but people can be supporting you or can be giving you scraps of money. Now, if you want to be earning 50K a month following this approach, you will need to be having 10,000 sales of these ebooks or templates or boards. In other words, out of these 10,000 followers that, what the fuck? Excuse me, give me a minute. And we're back. So, a low ticket offer, something like an ebook, a template, a board, something that is pathetically low, but you can just include it for like your audience to be supporting you, for people to be giving you some extra change, some scrap money. Now, if you want to make 50K a month following this approach, you'll need to be having 10,000 sales. In other words, out of your 10,000 followers, all of them should be buying. 100% of them should be buying. Well, doesn't sound too realistic, doesn't it? Now, if we move up a tier, we will be going into our mid-ticket offer. A mid-ticket offer, something like premium content, courses, paid communities, something that would be priced at around 50 all the way to, let's say, 750. All the way to, let's say, 750. Usually something that is monthly recurring, some stuff like these. If you want to make 50K a month using this approach, you will need to be selling 1,000 membership of your community, 1,000 membership of your course, 1,000 premium version of your content. In other words, it would only be 10% of your 10,000 followers, not like the low ticket offer where we should be selling to literally everyone, but it's still a bit too extreme for our numbers. And finally, we would be having our high ticket offer. Now, a high ticket offer, which usually is something like a one-on-one mentorship, specialized coaching, personalized training, a dedicated game plan for you, all of these usually cost at around 2K to 8K, sometimes even 10K or more, but for our sake of example, we will be taking a 5K offer, something like a 5K mentorship. Now, if you need to be making 50K a month following this approach, all you need to do is sell your offer to 10 clients. Out of your 10K followers, if I remember exactly, it would be 0.002%. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're thinking of making money online, which one of these three tiers sound more realistic to you? Low ticket offer, mid ticket offer, or a high ticket? I believe the answer should be clear. And if you said the high ticket offer, well, congratulations, you are on the good path to be earning the money as soon as possible in the right way. And so with that said, we will need to understand how we can actually execute this high ticket offer, how we can actually be selling a 5 grand program to people and not really get them shocked or think that it's a crazy price and actually get them to buy something like this. Well, for that, I will be giving you a quick and small checklist. This checklist should be your first step into success, and it should be giving you everything that you need to put in place a high ticket offer and start earning as soon as possible, as quick as possible, and as much as possible. So the first thing we will need to assure is to have a thing to offer, whether it is expertise or excellence. Now, let me talk a bit about this specific thing. Now, the first thing you should be having is a good and decent thing to offer. Usually it should be something like expertise or excellence, because people won't be buying from a beginner. I won't be buying from someone that is in the same boat as me, and I would be expecting something decent. So you would need to at least have a good competitive edge that you can position yourself on. I have used very specific terminology of expertise or excellence, and let me explain this properly to you. So let's give an example of a video editor. For example, if I am a video editor and I would need to learn from another video editor, I would be searching for people that are experts in this field, that have worked with big clients, that have worked with big YouTubers, that have some good systems of like outreach, know the shit that they are doing and how they are doing it properly. This is what expertise meant. But I can also, on the other hand, search for someone that hasn't necessarily worked with the big brands and the big YouTubers and has all of those fancy systems. But once you see their products, you will see something that is mind-boggling. You will see like crazy edits or crazy visuals or stuff that you can really just dream of creating without tutorials, without the right guidance, without knowing how. This is what excellence means. And you, being whether a creator, whether an influencer, a coach, a business owner, you will need to have a specific angle that you are positioning yourself as, whether an expert that will be giving you the results that you want, whether someone that is excellent that will improve your, let's say, marketing aspects, improve your ROIs, reduce your ad spend and get more results. Once you see yourself having these edges, then and only then you can start selling something as valuable as this. Otherwise, you will need to be going on Google, on YouTube, reading books, just improving your baggage, your knowledge capacity, just to have that level. And once you reach that level, trust me, you will think that your information is as valuable as this 5 grand per offer or even more. For example, if we take someone like Alex Hermosi, just having a one-on-one mentorship with them, it would be costing you a shit ton more than a 5K, let me assure you that. That's because they value their information as worthy much more than 5K. And that is the right mindset that you should be having. Once you have this requirement set, we'll be moving to the next step. Now, once you have this established basis of knowledge, the second thing that you should be doing is assuring you would be having a proper lead flow. In other words, you should be assuring that people would be having a buy-in intent, whether you offer something or not. Let me give a good example. Let's compare you, someone, or an influencer in the US with like an influencer in India. For example, both of you want to sell a high ticket offer. The second thing you should do is you should make sure that you would be having a proper lead flow. What do I mean by that? You should make sure that once you would be offering what you offer, people from your audience would be buying it. And how we do that? It is as simple as putting a poll on your story, posting content where you would be advertising or teasing for something new that you are working on, and you would be seeing whether you'd have positive feedback or not. Now, usually people would be very interested as long as you are positioned as someone that has good things to say, excellent, or an expert, which is why I have stated the first requirement as your biggest and your most essential requirement. But once you do that, once you make sure that people are actually interested in buying, you will need to filter them out and qualify. This might be the most important step in all of the things that you would do. And that is by going specifically to the audience, to the people that have voted yes, interested in buying, or have sent a DM for you to... Now, how do we do that? Usually, when we assure that we have proper lead flow, we would be either sending people to a dedicated form, or we would be doing something like a webinar funnel, a video funnel, a VSL funnel, all of that jazz. To keep it simple, without any technicalities, we will just be asking people whether they have proper buying intent, they have decent qualifications, like the location aspect, the time and dedication of the mentorship that they would be joining in, the actual will and intent to actually pursue and do whatever you want to be inciting them to do, the financial capabilities. Because let's say if you have a trading offer and you'd be accepting whatever people, someone that would have like a 500 credit score, they would be horrendous for you to join. They would be horrendous as a client in your mentorship, in your offer. It would just ruin your reputation, not give you any reason results, not do you any good, rather even have worse results for you than whatever was happening. So that's why we should qualify them decently, appropriately, and very specifically using some well-maintained ways. If you guys are interested in a video about qualification, you can just leave a comment, tell me all about it, and I'll be making a video. Moving on. Now, we have made sure that people have that intent. We have made sure that your audience actually has an intent to buy, filtered them out. Now, where do we go? These filtered out people need to be sorted between all of your teams because you won't be working alone. You should at least be working with someone that would be handling your sales calls and someone that should be closing them and getting them to actually physically pay. I'm going to talk about the closing aspects in a while, but for all of these things and for all of this structure, organization is going to be your best friend. That's why we should be managing all of these things with a CRM. A CRM can be like close.com, GHL, other solutions. The essential thing is good management and good organization between you, the setter, the closer, the CSM. All of these people should be well maintained under one roof, and that roof should be the CRM. Once it is properly managed, then and only then we should be moving into the closing aspect. You shouldn't be closing people just by leaving them as notes or leaving them in Google Docs or leaving them in whatever. We should be making a proper pipeline for you, the SDR, the closer, and then once we arrive to the step of closing. A closer is someone that walks down the prospect and the lead through his entire journey and trying to understand why they filled the form, why they addressed their intent to even join your mentorship, why they are joining, how they are joining, defining what winning means for them, and all of those stuff, just to fully encapsulate all of the info that this person will be looking for to join your mentorship and to be the final qualification barrier to see if they'll be an actual good student for your mentorship or not. And with all that, only at this step, then we can get them to pay. Once they have paid, congratulations, you have received the money, but this is not the end of the road. You still have a lot of stuff going in front of you, starting off by what I think one of the most essential steps, which is the onboarding and getting them on their feet. Now, what do I mean by onboarding? As soon as they pay their share and they are ready to go, you should be hopping on a call with them, telling them everything that you would be learning them, everything that they would be getting, understanding what is their final goal, what is their final intent, what is the thing that they are most interested in to reach with your mentorship. Once we understand all of this, we can build a dedicated game plan for them. Let's say if you are a trader, you can, if you see them a bit advanced, you can give them like a weekly coaching. If they are a fully beginner, you can give them like a 2 times per week, 3 times, maybe even a daily coaching, or you can tell them to see your sessions, see all of the stuff that you'd be doing. All of this should really fall inside this onboarding call and this initial setup, because this is what will be building the bridge between the prospects and you, shortening that gap for them to be feeling like they are inside the thing that would be changing their life and be the reason of their success. This is the mentality that you want your students to be having, and this should be your final goal of how you want each and every single one inside your mentorship to feel. And throughout your mentorship, throughout your offer, throughout your course, you should be making sure that all of your mentees, all of your students have at least one form or another of success. Now, I won't lie, some of them might be having some fluctuating results. A very low ball estimation of the success of your mentees would be something around 50%. Now, imagine if 50% of your students reach their success goals. 50% of them, let's say one of them reached 10K a month, one of them reached 30K, one of them reached 50K, whatever their win metric is, whatever they want, but at least they reach it. The next step is you should be documenting the living shit of what they did, recording case studies, testimonials, sales sequences, stories, all of that, because this, as we will be seeing in the next part, is the most crucial thing in assuring that this will be a scalable business, something that is actually recurring and is predictable and long-term, instead of it being a once in a while or a small thing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the end for this part. We talked a bit about the foundations, about everything that you need to know before earning your 10K. Now, in the next part, we'll be going a bit more on technicalities. We'll be going on how you can actually turn this into a scalable and long-term ongoing business, and how you can scale that, and how you can scale your 10K a month to upwards of 50, 80, 100K per month in a really fucking easy way. Yeah, I think this should be the first part. Give me a minute.